Hey everybody, how you doing today? God's grace for today, Matthew chapter 8. The verse I want to share on is 34. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they begged him to depart from their region. Once again, I encourage you guys to read the entire chapter, to read the Gospels, to find out who Jesus is for yourself. I can tell you who he is. He's the Son of God. He's God in the flesh that came and died on a cross for you and me, because he loves us, because he wants us to have a relationship with him, and that was what was necessary in order for that to be able to happen. I encourage you to read it yourself. But as we read this chapter, Jesus starts performing these miracles and healing people, and he heals Peter's mother-in-law, and then somebody asks him, like, what's it cost to be a disciple or to follow you? And basically he says, whatever you're putting before me, you got to let it go. He tells one guy to sell his house, and tells another guy he doesn't have nowhere to live, and goes on and on. I'm not saying you got to do those things to follow Jesus, but there's something you're putting before him. That's the problem. And then we get to this part where there's these two demon-possessed men, and Jesus casts the demons out, and the demons go into some pigs and run off a cliff. And we get to this very last verse down here. It's interesting. All these miracles and stuff are happening. And the whole city, it doesn't say a couple people, it says the whole city came out to meet Jesus. And when they saw him, they begged him to depart from their region. When Jesus shows up, everything you're used to gets thrown for a loop. And we got a choice. We can accept him and follow his ways, or we can be like these people and beg him to leave. Look at what's going on in America today, and you wonder what happened to this once great nation. We pushed God out of everything. We've even pushed God out of church. But thankfully, he's raising up a people right now that's seeking after him, that's not seeking after a building, it's not seeking after a denomination, it's not seeking after things to feel comfortable. Because when Jesus shows up, it gets uncomfortable. Because he takes us out of our comfort zone so we can grow. Because you can't grow in comfort. You grow when you're uncomfortable. And we got to grow closer to him and more into his likeness. I fall short every single day. I didn't do one of these yesterday because I was down and depressed all day. Because guess what? Even walking with Christ every day is not perfect. But thank God, his mercies are new every morning. Thank God that I was laying here depressed last night and I woke up today with brand new mercies from the Lord. Today, I don't know where you're at, but I wonder, are you going to be like the people at the beginning of this chapter that were worshiping Jesus? Or are you going to be like the people at the end of this chapter that are begging him to leave? Right now, he's begging you to stay, to come to him. He doesn't need us, but he loves us. There's nothing that we can offer him except love. And he asks us to receive the love that he has for us. He asks us to give him our lives. He will do something magnificent with them. He will take the worst, darkest parts of your lives, your biggest mistakes, your worst failures, your hardest seasons, the toughest stuff you've been through. And he's not going to erase those things, but he'll work something good out of them. He'll bring beauty from the ashes. But it's going to get uncomfortable. There's going to be things that you don't like that are going to happen. But growth is uncomfortable. He wants you to come to him. And the uncomfortable is so worth it. When you get a fresh touch of God and he renews your soul, he renews your spirit, he shows you what your calling and purpose are. Because each and every one of us have a calling and a purpose in this life. And God is the author and finisher of that calling and that purpose. I love you guys, and today I just pray that you are not like the whole city that begs him to leave, but I pray you're like the few that come to worship at his feet. Be blessed. I love you, so does Christ.